previous to that, people talk about, oh, Leem was disgraced and thrown out of the RPG community. I'm friends with Arkia, if you know who that is. She's on my Facebook page. I know who she is in real life. Most people don't know her real name. She's one of the best indie devs that are all tied up in the RPG maker scene. We've never had a problem, you know? I could go back to that community in an instant. I was building a video game, which I took a lot of the inspiration for Wonder Island from. And I was working with an artist who made romantic advances on me, right? And then when I said I wanted to do something more, I wanted to have, you know, like a real relationship, you know, since she was talking about marriage and shit. I was like, well, then let's meet up and everything. She flipped on the coin, got scared, you know, was like, oh, this is, you know, I was like, well, why would you say these things to me if you didn't mean them? Keep in mind, I'm a young man, you know, and then it ended up sort of compromising the project. It's like we couldn't work together, so we went our separate ways. There was no conflict, there was no beef. I just said I'm canceling the game because I'm not going to be doing all the pixel art and the game development myself. Again, this is being spun into something malicious or crazy when it's not. You know, there's nothing more to it. And it's old news that I'd honestly forgotten about, but these people dug all the way back, found little things here and there, and they're trying to spin it into this massive, salacious story. It's like, there's nothing to this. Anyone can look at this with just a basic glance, and if you actually look at what happened, it's fine. This is stuff that's like deep from my past that I hadn't thought about a long time ago. Work that I did for I almost said the wrong company there. Work I did for Palladium Books was brought up as well, regarding charm and impress and the intimidation aspect of the book. This was a of the game. This was a set of rules that I had written for. This is a set of rules that I had written for basically mob extortion and control based off the attributes because they were loose within the system. And so I cleaned them up with Kevin and we released them as a thing. It was for people that were trying to do mob enforcement and stuff like that. And like, you know, cult leaders and stuff like that. The idea that I could take some tables and basically human conditioning behavior and I could imply it to build a cult of my own is really crazy in and of itself. And I encourage anyone to go pick up that issue of the Rifter and give it a look. It's literally just some tables for, you know, gauging loyalty and like brainwashing people. It's entirely fiction. Like, just because I wrote about it in an imaginary role-playing game doesn't mean that I have the ability to mind control people. And again, this is coming from the people that endlessly tried to make me fight with Ethan Van Sciver because that's how my channel was going to grow and that's what I needed to do, and Ethan was evil. And now they're kissing up his ass and, you know, like trying to weasel in to cause more and more damage, right? And I never wanted to be a part of any of it, you know? And when I cut these people off, they went fucking lunatic legion. They went crazy, right? This has happened over and over and over again to me. I'm glad that nothing has happened like that with other people, but it does suck very severely when this is a continuing ongoing problem and where people are more interested in listening to salacious gossip, rumors, and fabrication than they are to really look at me. They're not weird. Like, I'll put on a bit of an Alex Jones act and I'll be a bit of a goofball and people think that's real. Or I'll honestly express how I feel about something and people will call me retarded or, you know, a liar. Okay. Right now, Billy Basco is currently going around calling me a groomer, which is untrue and actionable. And he's also going around claiming that I told Vinny Tartamella that I could get him work on Spider-Man and that, you know, Vinny and I were going to do a Spider-Man book together and we were canceled by Joe Quesada. That's not true. That's not true. I said I would love to work on a Spider-Man book with Vinny. Clearly someone heard that in a back room at some point and then it got whispered down to Billy. in some way that spun it into some weird take, but I never claimed that Joe Quesada canceled a Spider-Man book with Vinny Tartamella that I was working on at any point. I've said on live streams I would love to work with Vinny on a book. We are old friends of nearly 20 years. Vinny does know my work history. He does know me from before this time. He does know who I am and what I'm capable of, and he does know that I'm a good man. And just as I've known Vinny to be a stand-up guy and a great artist with a lot of talent. But, you know, it's more interesting, again, to these guys to try to inspire and drum in hatred. Uh, Again, I don't understand why this is. I can understand why certain anti-Comicsgate actors and certain people in the past would be furious at me for standing up to them, slapping them down, shouting them down, blocking them from the chat or so. But when I see guys like Billy, who approached me about being a colorist on my book, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll send you the early pages of Dino King. You can send me some samplers. I'll send you some money. Like, never had a beef with him, never had any conflict with the man in any way whatsoever, right? I felt sorry for him for getting stuck in the situation he was in. And to then come along and see him actively spreading lies about me, blatant lies that are criminal in nature, is absolutely reprehensible and disgusting. I'm not going to cry over that one, guys. I'm sorry, because the guy's obviously just a piece of human shit. And that's the problem. We got a whole bunch of people that are honest to God, just garbage human beings with no sense of integrity, honor, and no sense of loyalty, no spine. It's pathetic. Honest to God, pathetic. And I want no part of it. I want no part of any of this. The same people that are now sort of running around proclaiming themselves Comicsgate are the same ones that were shouting down Comicsgate and calling you guys idiots and a cult not 6 months ago. I want nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with them. I want nothing to do with the sort of mentality. I want nothing to do with the sort of social pressure that's being exerted on other people's companies. I want nothing to do with the politics or the social climbing game. And I'm tired of being accused of things I didn't say or do, right? I'm tired of looking at false evidence and going, well, what am I supposed to say about that? Because anyone with Photoshop can make me say whatever they want. I don't know how to do that stuff. I don't have Photoshop. I don't know how to image edit or anything. And I think that it's probably just as reprehensible to use the same tactics against them. So I refuse to do so. Instead, I'll just say it as it is. And people can think, you know what? The fat orange ginger's an idiot and a retard. Okay, cool. That's your opinion. You're welcome to it. But that fat orange ginger retard stood up for the people that were looking for people to stick up for him. That's what I've always done. I've always spoke truth to power, even if I look like a fool. So I think it's real funny that everyone believes that behind the scenes I'd be this conniving, manipulating, backstabbing, monster, when I am literally have a reputation for being unfiltered and just speaking my mind. And for a long time, I kept a lid on this. I kept a lid on this all the time, right? All the time. No suit, Liam. Kimasabi's left the chat. I should wear a suit. My wife actually just brought it back at the beginning of the stream from the dry cleaners. So if you go back, you'll see that. But as it is, there has to be a point where this stops, It really has to stop, because otherwise, and I'm not joking at this point, otherwise I am going to start ruthlessly pursuing litigation. If I continue to be called mentally ill, I can verify that I have, in fact, good mental health. Because of the aneurysm that I experienced, I need to go for regular checkups to make sure I'm not losing memories, make sure that there's nothing wrong with me, right? I'm good. I've just been on an emotional roller coaster for the last few years due to lies and manipulation. Case in point, I didn't want people to really know that I was, having issues with my memory, which happens when I'm under extreme stress and pressure. The reason that anyone even knows that I had an aneurysm and that became public, because it was a private matter, was because I was under an extreme amount of pressure one evening, right? And I looked around and no one was online except Cider And I hadn't talked to him in a few weeks, right? Because we didn't talk every day. We didn't talk a lot even. We never really had a lot of correspondence. He wasn't my best buddy.